Executive orders have been in the news recently after President Biden signed more executive orders in his first week in office than the past 7 presidents combined. Biden's executive orders cover a wide range in issues, from immigration to the environment. The content of these executive orders is outside of the scope of this video, and whether they're good or bad is for the pundits to decide. Today, I'll briefly explain what executive orders are, the historical context for them, and the checks and balances on them. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. To understand executive orders, we must start at the legislative branch of government. The Constitution of the United States gives Congress the ability to write and pass legislation. Many laws may include basic details with broader enforcement typically left to the discretion of the executive branch. Once Congress has passed a bill into law, it becomes the president's responsibility to faithfully execute that law. While the departments of the executive branch generally build the specific policies, the president can sign executive orders giving direction on how those laws will be enforced. The Constitution does not explicitly grant the president the power to issue executive orders, although it is implied by the president's responsibility to faithfully execute the law. Every U.S. president has issued executive orders. The number of executive orders was prolific in the first half of the 20th century, with over 10,000 signed by presidents from both parties. More recently, the number of unique executive orders has stabilized at 200 to 400 per administration. Some are routine administrative issues, while others are incredibly impactful. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, Truman's desegregation of the military, and FDR's internment of Japanese Americans are all examples of major historic executive orders. As the federal government has grown over time, the scope of executive orders has followed. The issues executive orders cover include the environment, healthcare, abortion, the economy, immigration, and international agreements. The War Powers Act even gives the president the authority to command the U.S. military to engage in conflicts for up to 60 days without congressional approval. Examples of this power include the Obama administration's involvement in Libya and Syria, and the Trump administration's involvement in Yemen and the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Executive orders can be challenged in several ways. The first is through the judicial branch. In the 1803 Marbury v. Madison case disputing a federal court appointment, the Supreme Court set the precedent for judicial review over the executive branch's actions. The Supreme Court also set a precedent that the president must be given authority from Congress for executive orders after President Truman seized control of the United States steel production facilities during the Korean War. More recently, President Trump's travel ban was temporarily revoked by a federal court, but was later found to be constitutional by the Supreme Court. Executive orders can also be challenged by Congress. The House and Senate can pass legislation to invalidate the law used as justification, although it would be difficult to get a 2/3 majority to override a presidential veto. The legislative branch can also withhold funding to the executive branch, making it impossible for the president to enforce their orders. The final way executive orders can be challenged is through subsequent executive orders. Prominent examples include the Mexico City policy and the Paris Climate Agreement. The Mexico City policy provides that federal funding cannot be used on abortion or abortion advocacy in countries outside of the United States. When a Republican is president, the executive order is enacted, and when a Democrat is president, the executive order is repealed. You can expect the Paris Climate Agreement to follow this pattern as well. Since the executive agreement was never approved by 2/3 of the Senate, it is not legally a treaty. Presidents have the authority to join and leave executive agreements as they see fit. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has given you a basic understanding on executive orders. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more political analysis on Just the Issues.